Hello guys, I'm GamerLouis95 here and welcome to my video, my top 10 favorite Hollow Knight bosses. So in this video I'll be ranking my top 10 favorite Hollow Knight bosses from my 10th favorite to my top favorite, my number one favorite. So Hollow Knight is a really awesome game. I've played it. I first played it in the year 2021 or 2020, I forgot, and it immediately clicked for me. Like everything about this game is amazing, and specifically one of the best things are the bosses. There are so many good bosses, and which is why I wanted to do this video and talk about my favorite bosses in this game. Anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I really appreciate the feedback, and tell me in the comments below what are your favorite bosses. Anyways, let's get started. So at 10th place we've got the Great Nail Slayer Sly. Now at first I really thought this boss battle was kind of bullshit because of how difficult it was. But once I understand the pattern and what to do, it becomes really fun and really enjoyable challenging battle. Basically my strategy is to charge one of the Great Nail Arts, specifically the one the one where you just have to charge it and just let it go, and then once I find an opening, I just use it. So yeah, so this is a really great boss battle. I just really like the idea. Try to avoid it, find an opening, and then attack it. The second phase is kind of weird, but it's alright. But overall, I think this is a really good boss. So at 9th place, we've got the Failed Champion, the harder version of the False Knight. Anyways, what I really like about this boss is just how fast it is. The fact that it deals double damage and it's super fast makes it a really enjoyable and challenging boss. I do like the attacks it throws at you. It's a really great harder version of the first boss, which was already a great boss. So yeah, I really like this the difficulty of this boss and how fast it is and how fun it is. And there is a way to cheese it, but overall I think this is a really great boss battle and just a better version of the first boss, which like I said, was already a good boss to begin with. So anyways, let's move on. So at 8th place we've got the Collector. Now I think a lot of people might not like this boss or find it an alright boss, but for me I just really like it for multiple reasons. First of all, I really like the build up. When you climb the Tower of Love, you keep hearing this weird creepy laugh. So, and second of all, when you climb the tower, you find a lot of like dead bugs inside jars, which really builds up to this boss. And when you finally fight it, this boss is just weird. She keeps screaming, or like it keeps giggling, screaming, making weird noises, and just jumping around and throwing enemies at you. Overall, I just like that setting of this boss and the idea of it, like how it uses enemies to attack you, and the idea of it as well. Also, the idea that this boss is made out of void is really cool. Like, it's one of the few bosses that you actually fight that is made out of void. So at 7th place, we've got the Watcher Knights. Now, I do think this boss is super easy once you know what to do and once you have all the gears or all the power-ups. Specifically, when you fight at the Pantheon of Hollowness, it's super easy and really cheesable and one of the easiest bosses. But the reason why I like this boss so much is because of my first playthrough. This was one of the most difficult boss battles for me when I first played this game, and I fought it before I got the Shade Cloak and some of the other power-ups as well. So I was never prepared for it, and for me it was just way too difficult. Fighting multiple Watcher Knight at once with them, and you have to be careful which one was gonna roll and which was gonna jump around, was really difficult. And this is one of the reasons why I like this so much. One of the few boss battles that really gave me trouble on my first playthrough, and I really appreciate it for that. I also really like the designs of them as well. Like, they're supposed to be like stag beetles or like beetles, I guess, and I really like their designs and their attacks as well. Like I said, they're pretty easy once you know what to do and once you have everything, all the power-ups, but for my first playthrough they were amazing and a great challenge. So at 5th place we've got the final boss, the Radiance. And maybe the Absolute Radiance. I never actually made it to Absolute Radiance, so I can't judge it. But from what I've seen, it's basically similar, but just harder and more RNG based, with a final phase as well, an additional phase. But anyways, for me, this is a really awesome final boss. The build up to it, the design, the setting, It's everything about this boss is amazing. Even the attacks it throws at you. It has a lot of attacks that it throws at you, and it's kind of difficult to dodge based on which attacks it decides to throw at you. I just really like the design of this boss, the challenge that it offers. It's such an amazing final boss, and I really appreciate it for that. I do think it's kind of RNG based, especially the Absolute Radiance. Like I said, I never actually reached it, but from what I've seen and from what I've read, it's kind of RNG based, depending on which two attacks it throws at you or which attacks it throws at you at once. That's the only problem I can see with it. But other than that, I really like the design and the challenge that it offers, and the multiple phases it has. Specifically, I really like the first and third phase. This phase and the first one as well. Like both of them were really fun to do, and the most enjoyable part of this game, or this boss, I should say. So at fourth place, we've got the Soul Tyrant. Now this is just a harder version of Soul Master, and let me talk about Soul Master first. On my first playthrough, I really liked the Soul Master. I never thought it was actually that challenging, but it was one of the more challenging bosses that you faced early in the game, which is something I really appreciated. I also really like the design and how it controls spirit, and how there's a fake out for the second phase. Overall, the Soul Master himself was really an enjoyable experience, first time experience, especially for an early game boss. Like it was such a good early game boss, and when you know that there's a harder version, basically the Soul Tyrant, you know that it's just gonna be good. Now this boss is much more faster. It teleports faster. It has faster attacks. Basically, it's just a harder version of the Soul Master, which is something I really like. I just really like how challenging this boss is, how fast it is, how quickly it throws the spirits at you. It's such a great, fun and challenging boss in my opinion. So at fourth place, we've got the White Defender, another harder version of an original boss, which is the Dung Defender. Now I already liked the Dung Defender a lot. I thought the boss battle was great, but the White Defender is just a much better version. He's much more fast paced, has better attacks, he's much more quicker, has more attacks as well. He's not vulnerable to the Descending Dark. Another reason why I like this boss so much is because of the music as well. The music is so great, and I really like the Dung Defender's story in the game, like how he's trying to fight for his king, and how he has a relationship to Isma and the other knights as well. So overall, I really like the design of this boss, the music, the difficulty that it had, the difficulty of the boss, how quick-paced it is, and the story behind Dung Defender and Orgrim and the other knights and the king. So at third place, we've got the Sisters of Battle. So this is a harder version of the Mantis Lords, and you only fight them in the Pantheon of Holiness. But instead of fighting two at once, you have to fight all three at once, which is such a cool idea. It's such a fast-paced and fun boss battle, and a really challenging one at that. Once you know what to do, the boss battle becomes like a rhythm. Like it's easy to do once you know what to do, because it's like rhythm. It's like a rhythm. It's like choreographed, I guess you could say. There's no RNG involved. Just a fun, quick-paced, challenging boss that I really like. And fighting all the sisters at once is such a cool idea. An amazing boss overall. Such a cool addition to the DLC. So at second place, we've got the Pure Vessel. I just love this intro. Seeing the Pure Vessel in his armor, and then it just breaking, and the music and how silent he is. It's such a cool intro to the boss. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the Hollow Knight is a great boss, the infected version. He's kind of disappointing, and it makes sense since the final boss is actually the Radiance and not Hollow Knight. But the fact that we have to fight the harder or the elite version or the pure form of Hollow Knight is such a cool idea. He's way quicker, has a lot of attacks that he throws at you, and the more damage you deal, the more attacks he's gonna gain. He starts to throw out new attacks at you. The tentacles, the void tentacles, and his focus as well. This is such a cool boss because of the lore, how fast paced it is, the attacks that it throws at you, the challenge that it offers. It's just a great idea for a boss, an amazing one at that. And like I said, all the attacks that he throws at you and the new ones that he gains is such a cool idea. I wish more bosses had this, where the more damage you deal to them, the more attacks they have. But anyways, let's move on to the first place, and yeah. So at first place, we've got the Nightmare King Grim, the dream version of Troop Master Grim. So what's to say about this boss? There are so many great things about this boss. First of all, I really like Grim's design overall. I do prefer the original version over the Nightmare design because of the colors, but nonetheless, he still looks really awesome. Second of all, the music. This is one of the best music tracks in the game, and probably my favorite boss music. Third of all, this is just a faster, more fun version of Grim. He's not easy to cheese. He's really fun. He's very fast. You have limited windows to attack him. You have to be very quick paced. You have to be very quick to dodge his attacks. The design of the arena, everything about this boss is just amazing and such a cool addition to the game as well. I'm really glad that they added this as a DLC. For me, he's like a worthy additional boss, or like final boss, I could say, because just how challenging and fun it is. All of his attacks are great and fun to dodge. The one where he turns into a ball and starts to fire at you is great. The bats that he throws at you is fun to dodge. He's most vulnerable when he's attacking you with the flame pillars, but nonetheless, it's such a cool idea as well. Such a cool attack. Overall, this boss is amazing. I just love everything about this boss. Probably one of my favorite bosses in the entire gaming series or gaming franchise. So yeah, this is my list. I really hope you enjoyed, guys, and I would really appreciate the feedback, and tell me what are your favorite bosses, Hollow Knight bosses, in the comment below if you played it. And I'm actually thinking of making more top 10s. So yeah, see you next time.